Hello, everyone, and welcome to Geeks on Tour presentation of What Does This Button Do? It's an educational show about smartphones and tablets with the Geeks on Tour. We have Chris with us today, and I'm Jim, and along with my wife Chris, we're the Geeks on Tour. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? Do you have questions about your Android or iPad tablet? How do you learn about these amazing devices? The best way to learn about anything is to teach it to others. We are geeks who teach. We are into lifelong learning and helping others learn technology along the way.
And we are learning all the time. And that is what we just love to do. So this is fun for us.
Okay. We're going to try and be organized about this show and keep it to a half hour. We'll have a beginner's lesson with something that's important for beginners to know about their phones and tablets. We'll start with the iPad and we'll show Android in a segment. And then I'll do the app of the week and we'll have a random tip and we'll have questions. So please post your questions as comments below the show screen, either on the Google Plus event page or on YouTube page, depending on where you're watching, and we'll try to get to them in the live show. We'll also record this show and it'll be available for viewing later on YouTube. Chris.
Okay. Well, where are we? We like to tell people where we are, where we're broadcasting from. We are in San Luis Obispo, California, and we have our RV parked at an Elks Lodge, and it is so convenient. We're just a few blocks away from an old friend of mine who lives in San Luis Obispo, and we have been invited to present to the San Luis Obispo Computer Club this afternoon. We're going to be doing a cloud computing seminar. If anybody happens to be in the area, it is open to the public. I think it's at the Oddfellows Hall.
Yeah, that's exactly where it is. Cool. All right. So, you ready for your beginner's lesson?
Sure. I'd like to just have a comment from somebody who is watching that all is well. Somebody says they're getting feedback really bad. So I guess while I'm talking, you should mute yours and vice versa.
Okay, let me mute mine.
Oh no, this person says she had it open in two windows. We're all learning all the time, right? Okay, so I am going to start, and today's lesson is on fun stuff, talking to your devices, and sometimes they even talk back. Now, if you're on Apple devices, which is what I'll start with, you may have been using Siri for a long time, but I also know people who have Apple devices that haven't used Siri, so we're going to make sure you know about Siri and some of the fun stuff she can do. And here's my iPad. And we turned it on. And Siri is the name of the Apple's assistant. It is your personal assistant. You talk to her and she will talk back. How you bring her up is just a long press on the home button. So from any screen, you just long press on the home button. What's the weather going to be like this week?
Nice weather coming up today, up to 81 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, San Luis Obispo has awesome weather, although it is chilly in the morning when we wake up. So you notice that when I pressed that button, a wavy line appeared. That is the indicator that she's listening to me. So let's try a couple other things. But once you're in Siri, you don't have to press the button again. You just tap on the microphone. What movies are playing nearby?
me check on that. I found a few movies playing today near San Luis Obispo.
Luis.
Are they seeing my screen, Jim? I'm seeing yours.
Not sure.
Just checking. Because we don't have a third screen today to seems like.
I have you penned.
Okay. There are other things that you can ask Siri, though, not just about weather and movies, things that we as travelers often need to know, like what's the zip code for the city that we're in? That can be so hard to find, but you can just ask Siri, what's the zip code for San Luis Obispo, California?
Let me check on that. Here's some information.
So there's several zip codes over this area. So sometimes she just gives you an answer, and other times she has to look things up. Let's try a couple others. You can ask her to do things as well as just give you information. Wake me up at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Setting the alarm. Your 7 a.m. alarm is on.
Now that's pretty cool. I mean, I've struggled to find where an alarm clock is on my device in the past.
Yeah, like you use an alarm clock very often.
Really, I get up when I'm good and ready. That's the way I get up. And then if you're traveling in a foreign country, one of the apps that we really love is the Translate app, but you don't even need it. Siri can tell you how to say something, so let's try it. How do I say, where is the bathroom in French?
Let me have a look. Here's what I found on the web for say, where is the bathroom in French?
Ah, I could swear last time I did this, she actually said it. Let me try another one. How do I say, I want a beer in Spanish?
Checking. Here's what I found on the web for say, I want a beer in Spanish.
Oh, well, I thought she said it. And there are other things you can ask her to do. Well, here's another example I like.
Dos cerveza, por favor.
Oh, that's the gym personal assistant talking there. How about, how much tip should I leave on a $75 bill?
Checking on that. Here is what I found.
So that can come in handy. And then if you want to know more things you can do, there's a little question mark way down here in the lower left-hand corner, a little question mark, and that will show you all the possible things that you can ask Siri for. So you can launch your photo app, you can send a message, you can enter a calendar item, you can ask questions about sports, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It goes on and on. But the next thing I want to show you isn't about Siri, but it is about talking to your device. So I'm going to go into Evernote. That is my favorite note-taking app. And let's say I'm in process of editing the introduction to our Android handbook that we use in our classes. What I'm going to do is tap on plus to add a note to Evernote. And in the title here, I'm going to put that it is Intro to Book. And notice how painful it is to have to type all that. Have you ever noticed that there is a microphone on this keyboard? If anywhere you see a microphone, it means you can talk rather than type. So I'm just going to read here rather than try to be making stuff up on the fly. I'm going to tap the microphone. This booklet is intended to accompany a 3-hour hands-on class, period. Bring your Apple device, your phone or tablet, fully charged, period. When I tap done, she writes out, well, it's not she, your device. This has nothing to do with Siri. This is just transcribing what you say. So you tap the microphone and then you tap done. Let me say another sentence. You will learn by doing. Learn camera tips, internet connection issues, navigating with maps, and downloading apps, period. Pretty handy. All right, now I want to show you the same things using my Android phone.
I have an Android phone too, and an Android tablet.
Yeah. You want to do part of this, or?
Oh no.
No, you're doing the next thing. Okay. So on Android, it's called Google Now. It's just a Google search. And in one of our previous episodes, we talked about how to put a widget, this Google search widget, onto your home screen, and I really like it there. But if you don't have it there, all we're talking about is, so I'm just going to my all apps here, and I'm looking just for the Google app, the blue one. That Google app right there is the Google search. And you can tap on the microphone. What will the weather be like this week?
Here's the forecast for San Luis Obispo.
Okay. So that's one way to bring it up. If you see the Google search bar and the microphone, you can tap on the microphone. But if that is on your screen, you can also just say, "Okay, Google, wake me up tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. All right. Then if I want to ask another question, when are the Dolphins playing football today?
The Dolphins are trailing the Patriots 17-7 in the second quarter.
Oh no, don't tell me that.
Oh, we might have to change the time of this of our Sunday show here, huh?
I think we should. How about you out there? Do you think we should change the time so we can watch football?
All right, here's another one that I really do like. If you have to call somebody that's overseas, isn't it difficult to figure out what time is it? You don't want to wake them up in the middle of the night. So how about just asking, what time is it in Tokyo?
The time in Tokyo, Japan, is 3:14 a.m.
Real quick and easy.
Yeah, let's wake them up.
And something I just recently learned I can ask Google Now to do. And let me just go back to my home screen. Okay, Google, play me some music.
Playing music.
And it takes a second, but it's just opened up the Google Music app, and it did an "I'm feeling lucky." I don't know if you can hear that very well, but
Yeah.
Louie Louie. Okay. So you can just tell it to play you music. You can ask it any question. You can find translations in language. You can schedule appointments. It is just so fun. Personally, I got to say, though, I really don't use it all that often because I'm usually in public or in a noisy area, and I'm a little self-conscious talking to my phone. So you can, with the Google, you can type in too. You can say, how much tip at, if you can type. This is a good thing for talking. Should I leave on $75? All right, so you don't have to talk to it, but it is a lot easier. Now I want to show you transcription on here. I'm going to go to Evernote and do that same thing. I will just add a note, a text note, and instead of typing, I will tap the microphone. This booklet is intended to accompany a 3-hour hands-on class, period. Bring your Android-based phone or tablet fully charged, period. This class is for beginners, but not complete beginners, period. For example, we expect that you are already sending and receiving emails on your device. That is just pretty amazing. Now notice that this one showed us the transcription without having to tap done. All right. Unless we have any questions, I'm done with showing you about talking to your mobile devices, and it's time for your app of the week.
Okay, that sounds good to me. My app of the week this week is Fresh Food. The Fresh Food Finder is the easiest way to locate farmers markets and locally grown food wherever you may be. The Fresh Food Finder enables you to easily find markets near your current location or search for farmers markets within a state, city, or zip code. All the farmers market data is obtained through the USDA data feed. So if it's not in the USDA data feed, you won't find it on the farmers market. And we find this really important for us who travel all the time. We're in different areas and we don't always have the same farmers market. Like here in San Luis Obispo, there are several farmers markets run by the same group, and it goes to different places at different times. Oh, this is free for the iOS and the Android. So, did I do that right? Yeah. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. Okay, here's the Fresh Food Finder. And I can find markets near me. That's really a handy thing to have. And I can look at them on a map. So this is where we are right now. And then I can just tap on one that's close by, and it'll give me information about it. I can get directions, and if I do that, it will actually take me over to Google Maps, and it'll give me directions from where I am. It'll take me 4 minutes to get to this one because I'm real close.
Let's
go.
We
can walk. We can walk, yeah. And it also gives you a link there so you can see it. And so those are the nearby ones, but if you're going to go to an area, you might want to search somewhere else. So you can search on a different state, say Florida, and Webster.
Oh yeah, that famous flea market, farm market.
Okay, that's the Sumter County Farmers Market, and we can get more information about that. Look at it on a map. Oops. I'm thinking it's a different kind of map. There we go. So I can tap on the minus. Give you more information and get directions, and that'll take you back out. So it is really a cool app. I think that everyone should buy locally. Good food, mostly organic, and it's great for both the iOS and for the Android. So check it out.
Boy, did we get some good tomatoes up at the Cambria Farmers Market the other day.
Yeah, it's always nice to get that kind of stuff. All right, I think it's time for some questions. Oh, copy and paste on the Nexus 7.
Yeah, that was a question from last week that we didn't get to.
Yeah, so let me get my Nexus 7 ready over here. And put it up on the screen. Maybe I can do that this way. Okay. Now, copy and paste is pretty simple on these devices, and I use just, I guess the easiest thing to do here is to open up a Gmail. Now, a lot of times you might have something in there that you want to change. So this is about our broadcast. Faster, faster.
Well, you say simple. Simple is a relative term. I
Okay.
still so much prefer copy and pasting on my computer, but sometimes you got to do it on your mobile device.
Okay, so I have this email up, and basically what I need to do is a long press somewhere, and then I get these handles, so I can move these handles up and over and down. So if I wanted to select this whole paragraph, notice at the top there it gives me some choices. Once those handles are on there and it's selecting, I can select all, I can copy, and then I can open up a new email.
And you're not using your finger there. What?
I'm using a stylus. I like a stylus to do this. And then, so I've opened up a new compose. I can just do a long press here. And notice that the paste is right there. So it is a copy and paste. Some places allow you to do a cut. So you can choose another area here as you see fit, and notice at the top I can cut that out. Pretty cool. So that is my tip of the week. Or no, that's my answer to your question.
That's answer to a question. Now,
okay.
Okay, we just got in a question. How do you compare Dropbox with iCloud? iCloud is Apple's cloud service, and Dropbox is an independent cloud service. In fact, that's what we're teaching this afternoon at come to the San Luis Obispo Computer Club this afternoon, and we'll show you all about it. We tend to like Dropbox just because it's independent and it's not attached to any company, any of the big three, Apple, Microsoft, or Google.
Okay. Well, did you learn something? I know I did. So, these are the review questions. How do you start Siri on an iPhone or iPad?
Okay, that one is really so nice. You just hold down, long press it's called, on the home button, that round physical button, so you can do it from anywhere.
Okay. How do you know Siri is ready?
Well, there's a little bit of a beep, but also you have this wavy line, and the wavy line will move as you speak, and that's what lets you know that she's listening to you.
And how do you start Google Now on an Android device?
Well, you need to have the Google app, or preferably the Google search widget. That's what was on my home screen. And then you either tap on the microphone or you speak the words, "Okay, Google." And this can really be funny because somebody next to you might have an Android device that hears you and starts answering you.
That happens to me quite a bit.
Yeah.
While we were practicing for this show, I heard all of a sudden my phone would start answering her questions, and
Because I'm saying, "Okay, Google," and it says, "What? What?"
all right. Well, and how do you dictate to your device?
Okay, now that's different from the personal assistant, the Siri and the Google Now. Dictating just means you're at some screen, any screen on your device where you have the keyboard and you would be typing. If you see a little microphone, and most devices you will, you can tap on that and talk instead, and it will transcribe. Same thing on iPad or Android device. The only difference, at least in my experience, on the iPad I have to tap done before it actually does the transcribing. So you don't want to speak paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs. 3 or 4 sentences is about the max.
Right.
So
Well,
stay on your screen share there. That's where you wanted me to.
okay.
I wanted to show them a couple things on our website here.
Okay.
And I don't have a screen share this
All right.
week.
So this is our website. Go ahead.
Okay, so the thing is, we're doing these weekly shows are completely free. They're on YouTube and will be there and for free forever. So what is the benefit of joining Geeks on Tour? Well, for one, so we figured we have to give our members something more than just the free weekly show that we give to everybody. So if you click on weekly show on our website, this is geeksontour.com and weekly show.
Okay.
And so now scroll down and you will see a listing of all the shows. You know, first you see the current one, and then you see a listing. And notice that there's the date. There is a column that just says a little bit about what each show is about, and then there's 2 columns. On the first column where it says episode 10, for example, that is for members only. If you click on the episode that's on the last column, that is the free one that's for anybody. So let's see what the difference is. If you click on episode 10, for example, Jim.
Okay.
It says that is the member archive with transcript notes. So let me show you what these notes are. I mean, these are good half-hour shows, sometimes 40 minutes. And so, okay, this says, here is episode 10. There are show notes below the video which document what was covered and include timeline links so you can watch just what you want. If you're not a Geeks on Tour member, you can watch the episode on YouTube, but you won't get the documentation. So Jim's going to log in. And we'll just see what these notes look like. So there is the show, the same one that anybody can watch on YouTube, but below it there is notes. So you might even be able to find something in these notes that answers your question, and you don't even have to watch the show. But if you do want to watch, just about Jim's app of the week there on Flickster, you can click where it says start on 2754, and that's exactly what it'll do. It'll go straight to the spot in the video where Jim, we can't deal with having you on here twice, Jim. Okay.
All right, if that's the way you want to be.
And also in those show notes, I put links to anything that we mentioned. So for example, last week's session on calendars, our internet connection wasn't that great. It got a little blurry. So we have a member video on Google Calendar, and there's a link to it.
All right, well, next week we have a beginner's lesson, what to do if your device is lost or stolen. And I'll have another app of the week. We'll try and answer your questions, so please leave them in the comments during the week, and we'll try and get to them. And watch for the notification for next week's show, and be sure to click that you're coming and leave any questions in the comments.
Now, I think what I'm going to do for the beginner's lesson next week is talk about settings that you need to put in place just in case your iPad or Android are ever lost or stolen. That's next week's beginner's lesson.
Well, that sounds great. All right. And that's pretty much it for this week. See you next week on the episode 12 of What Does This Button Do? Thanks for watching, and we will see you next week.